Kirti.
So Kirtika and Chitra, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Prabhu, both of them are my classmates, Prabhuji. From school, we are friends.
Okay. You are working there, both of you?
I'm not working, Prabhuji, here.
I am working with Accenture. I am an IT consultant. Ji.
Okay. So welcome for this program today.
Thank you for
Prabhuji, please
Thank
give
you,
your
yeah.
permission to give an intro, Prabhuji, please.
Okay, so before starting, we'll have the Mangala Charan. Okay, then
Okay,
we'll
Prabhu.
start.
Yes, Prabhu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadudam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरि ओम तत्सत्. So my name is Siddha Gauranga Dasa. That's my spiritual name, and Karmi name is Shiva Shankaran. So we are very glad to have you with us today. Definitely the thanks and gratitude goes to Shri Sachi Mata Mataji. Her Karmi name is Jyoti, as you all know. So we are regularly having a satsang. Okay. Now because of this pandemic situation, we are having through Zoom. That's only difference. Otherwise, every week we meet in their house and discuss about the glories of the holy name and the Supreme Lord. So this has been going on for the last more than 3 years, Mataji. Jyoti Mataji.
Prabhu, 5 years I've been attending your Bhakti
Yeah,
Vrish.
5 years. Okay.
But in our house, this is only,
Yeah.
this is 1 year, Prabhu.
No, in your more than 1 year.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah, overall 5 years they have been attending, but in their house more than 2 years. We have been taking classes on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and such literatures. So welcome to our program. And I know that Jyoti Mataji, has been taking class for you for the last 1 or 2 months. 1 month, 1.5 months now.
1.5.
Yeah,
1.5. Yeah. So I don't know where to start with. We are basically from a spiritual society called ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. I am sure you might have heard about this because in USA there are many places, and both of you are from US, right?
I am from Singapore.
Oh, you are from
Yeah,
Singapore.
US.
Okay. So in Singapore also, I think there are, many. There's no temple as such. There's some congregation going on. Malaysia, there are 2 temples, one main temple and another one small temple. So this is it. So from where we should start, Jyoti Mataji? We should start from where you have stopped, or
Prabhu, your discretion, Prabhu, whichever you find comfortable with, because all of us are beginners. So I believe you can start whichever you're comfortable with, please.
Okay.
Prabhu. You are Mataji also, Prabhu.
Okay. So have you read Bhagavad Gita before? Just for my information.
No, I have not read.
You not read.
No.
I have read, but more of the English translations there, and it has been a long time. So I had stopped in between.
Okay. So basically, Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. It's in the Bhishma Parva. It's a dialogue between Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his disciple and devotee, you all know, Arjuna. Okay. This happened in the midst of a war which was about to start. Okay. So Arjuna, as you all know, is a warrior by Varna, by his occupation, or in other words, we can say Kshatriya. So it is the duty of a Kshatriya to uphold religiosity, dharma, okay, and protect the citizens of the country. So there took place some dispute between the two families. Okay, they tried level best to avoid the war. They couldn't do it. They even sent Supreme Lord Krishna to mediate. He was not successful. But then, they had to agree for a war. In those days, the war means it's not the war of the present days. It's unethical. Even when they are doing, taking up war, there will be some principles they will follow, both the parties. So they were ready, both the parties were ready for the war. But after they were ready, when Arjuna saw his own relatives, his father-in-laws, his own cousin brothers, his gurujans, he was totally perplexed and bewildered. Why should I kill my own people? What for? What good I am going to get by killing my own people? Okay, I'm going to go to hell only. And even if I win all this kingdom, how can I enjoy without my people? I will not be happy at all. So what's the purpose of killing my own people? I don't want to take part in this war. So he was totally bewildered and confused. Then he requested Lord Sri Krishna that, I don't want to take part in this ghastly war. Rather, I will go to the forest and live my livelihood by begging. Then from there, it's in brief, to cut it in brief, from there, Lord Krishna starts advising Bhagavad Gita. Okay, what is the prime duty of a Kshatriya, being a king? His prime duty is to uphold dharma, okay, protect the citizens, irrespective of who is on the other side. Suppose a Supreme Court judge is there on his seat. His own son comes as a victim. What is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do?
Serve justice.
Justice. Should he say, oh, he is my son, I should not do justice and I should take the partiality?
Irrespective of who is on the other side.
Yes. So here, some religious activities, some religiosity has taken place. The kingdom which was supposed to be ruled by Pandavas were snatched by Kauravas. Okay. So in the same scenario, Arjuna cannot think that way. Oh, because of my people, my cousin brothers, my father-in-laws, my brother-in-laws, my Gurujan, I don't want to take part. This is like a cowardice, running away from the duties and responsibility. So this is a scenario, and in that battlefield, in the midst of that battlefield, Lord Krishna gives the instruction what a Kshatriya is supposed to do, or what a king is supposed to do, or what a person who has responsibility is supposed to do. And this starts, then later, he's talking about the purpose of human life, who we are. We are all living on a bodily platform. So he slowly and gradually, raises him to the platform of soul, that we are not the body, we are the soul. And he then gives different explanation about different yoga, that is karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, and bhakti yoga. Okay, slowly and gradually, he is giving him the real knowledge. Veda means knowledge. And at last, he surrendered to him in the second chapter. And because he was totally confused and bewildered what to do, what not to do, then he accepts him as his spiritual master. Krishna advises everything about this material world and the life that we are doing now, or what is the purpose of this life, and how we can conduct the life so that the purpose of human life is achieved. The purpose of, what is the purpose of human life according to you? What is the purpose of human life?
We keep discussing this in our sessions.
Okay,
We all-
fine, no problem.
We are
Yeah.
still finding
What-
an answer for that.
Yeah, that's
What is the
true.
purpose of human life? Okay, so you don't answer. Let me put it other way. Okay, we are all which category? We fall under which category?
You-
Uh,
Human being.
human
Human
being.
Yeah, human being.
Okay, right. Do you agree to that? What
Yes.
about Chitra?
Yes, human being.
Human beings. Okay. So can you please tell me the similarities between human being and animals? What are the similarities?
We
Eat,
eat,
sleep.
drink, and sleep
Mm.
at the same.
Okay.
Then there are differences, I think.
Okay, what are the similarities? Let us talk about the similarities. Then we'll go to the, differences.
Yeah, I mean, animals just eat, drink, sleep. They just continue their life every day.
Okay.
I don't think they anything more than that.
Okay. What about Chitra? Can I call you by name? There's no problem.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Usually we address with Mataji. I don't want to embarrass you by calling Mataji now. this is
No,
this
Prabhuji,
is
you can call us by name.
okay. It is not that you become my mother. It is just to respect the women. We have to see every lady as our own mother except the wife. So this is how we address the gents as Prabhus, as masters, and we address the ladies as Mataji, mother, because we are respecting just like how we are respecting the mother. So that's the only thing. It is not because of, even the small girl, I call Jyoti Mataji's daughter, Mahana, as Mataji. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so what are the similarities? Eating, you said eating?
Yeah, eating, sleeping, and
Eating.
even they survive to live, right?
Okay. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These are the 4 similarities. Okay. Right? We are eating,
Yeah.
animals are eating. Okay. We are sleeping, they are sleeping. They are mating, that they are producing children, we are also producing children. Okay. And they are defending. We are also what is defending means?
Protecting ourselves.
Protecting ourselves. Okay. We are afraid of some other animals or our own people, so we have to protect ourselves. Basically we are afraid. Okay. They're also afraid. You have seen the eyes of the birds properly. Have you observed the eyes of the birds? Always, moving here and there, very
They're
big.
always afraid of
Afraid.
something
Isn't
is
it?
going to attack them.
Yes. Who is going to come and attack me, kill me? Always keeps moving here and there to see somebody is coming or not. Isn't it? So they are eating. How they are eating? Whatever they get, of course, whatever they mean, what they are supposed to eat, they will eat. And they keep eating. Is there any regulation for them? Okay, I will eat at 12 o'clock. I will eat at 4 o'clock. I will eat at 6 o'clock. Is there any regulation for them? Whenever they get, they eat. Most of the time they eat. And sleeping, we are also doing, they're also doing. Right? So what is the difference between their sleeping and our sleeping? Activity remains same. They are sleeping. They may be sleeping on the branch of a tree or somewhere down, or the dogs may be on the street side. Okay. So we may be sleeping in a nice furnished apartment, sophisticated bed. We'll be sleeping very nicely. Okay. Activity remains same. Where we sleep, how we sleep, the details may differ, but the activity remains same.
Okay.
Mating, they are also producing children. They are better because they produce in one go, 10 children like that, 10 children, 15 children, especially cats, dogs, and all. Okay. What about us? Less. So does it mean that they are better than us? They make more children?
I
No.
don't think so.
Defending? They are also afraid. We're also afraid. We are afraid of our own people, human beings. We are not afraid of other living entities. Mostly we are afraid of our own people. And they are also afraid of other living beings. So defending is there. So these are the basic 4 common similarities. The activity remains same. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. The activity and the details change because we are sleeping in a nice place, comfortable place, sophisticated arrangement. Eating, we cook and nice way we cook and eat. They also eat. But all these activity remains same. But what are the differences? What are we supposed to have something distinct from them to be called as human beings?
Thinking.
Thinking, yes. Okay, then okay, what do we do after thinking?
Act on whatever we are thinking.
Okay. Chitra,
I think humans, we have our own values.
what is that?
We have our own values.
Your values. These values are based on what?
Based on what we think, how we have to live.
Yes. So how you think and how I think is relativity, right? What you
Right.
think and I think, it's different. It may not be same.
Same.
Okay. You have a set of values. I have a set of values. So how we can reconcile this? What is good for you may not be good for me. What is good for me may not be good for you. How we can reconcile this? So in what way we are distinct from them? We understood the 4 basic similarities. Okay. Now what are the differences between us and the animals?
We act on the values that we think are good.
Yeah, again I
Although
agree.
it
Good
may
and
be
bad.
for all of us, we
Yeah.
think that certain things that we think are good is what we act on.
Okay. Again, agree. I agree totally. So, but on what basis? What is the basic things that we rely upon, that this is good, this is bad? As I told you, your good may not be good for me. My good may not be good for you. What you think is good for you. But the same good is not good for me. So how can we survive together harmoniously without any conflict? When the thinking should be one, isn't it? So there should be some basis with which we live. There should be some basis of values which are common for you, common for me, common for all the human beings, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is that supposed to be? What these values, common values, which is good for you, which is good for me, which is good for all the mankind? What it should be? How from where we can derive those values? Because your thinking, my thinking, and Chitra's thinking or Jyoti Mataji's thinking all different. Okay, just like for example, there is heavy rain. There is a shopkeeper who is selling umbrella. Okay, what he wants heavy rain so that he can sell umbrella. The person who doesn't have umbrella, let the rain stop so that I can go without any problem. So the shopkeeper is thinking that rain is good for him. The other person who doesn't have umbrella is thinking that rain is not good for him, isn't it?
Yes.
So there's a conflict there. So these values that we are all talking about should be based on what? There should be some basis, right? So this is called scriptures. You all have, smartphones with you. Okay.
Yes.
And along with that smartphones, do you get a book?
Manual.
What is that called?
Manual.
User manual,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
What do we do with that user manual?
We read the
to
instructions.
understand- Yeah.
We read, understand the instruction from that user manual, and we operate the smartphone accordingly. This I'm just talking about a small smartphone. There are very, very complex machineries in the hospitals, in the factories, very, very complex. Okay. To use that, we have to learn the user manual properly, and we have to use that machineries or smartphones. Otherwise, what will happen?
Will not operate it
It
correctly.
will be chaotic, totally chaotic, right?
Yeah.
So similarly, when this world or this universe were created, along with that came an operation manual. Along with that came an operation manual. That's called Vedas. Okay. Vedas means knowledge. Knowledge. Okay. How we should conduct in this material world. How a human being should conduct in this material world, so that they can live in this material world peacefully and attain the perfection which the human being is supposed to attain. So, okay, this is this. What about the animals? Do they have to read the manual and live?
No.
Why? They're also living being. Why they don't require? Why we require? So what's the difference? This is what I want to come to.
That is the difference between human being and animals, right? Human beings, we tend to read know the Vedas and follow the scriptures, right? And
Yes.
and
Yes.
live accordingly.
Yes. So by reading the Vedas, the manual, how we should live in this material world, conduct ourselves, so that everybody gets benefited. And there's a manual. For them, it is not necessary. The reason being is that they don't have a developed consciousness. You know the consciousness. What is consciousness?
The understanding that we have.
Yes. About what? Understanding of what?
Ourselves, about
Yeah.
the things around us.
Yes.
The understanding of God.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Very
It's
good.
like understanding of everything around us is consciousness.
Yes. Yes. And Chitra, anything more to add?
No, Prabhuji. Understanding about everything. That's what I think.
Okay. So understanding. So consciousness. What is the function of consciousness? What is the basis of? Sorry. What is the basis of consciousness?
Vedas.
No. In us, we have conscious. We are conscious. We have consciousness. So what is the basis of that? From where do we get that consciousness?
About the happenings around us.
No. Okay, I agree. That is the the awareness of everything about us, surrounding the creation, the creator, the other living beings. This is all awareness. Okay. So what is the basis of that consciousness? Soul.
Okay.
Okay. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. You are conscious, I am conscious, okay, of who you are, who am I, and the surroundings, the friends and other things. Everybody is conscious. The symptom of soul is consciousness, or the function of the soul is consciousness. So what about the animals? They are not conscious.
They are.
So in what way we are different from them?
I think they don't understand consciousness apart from the four functions that they are doing.
Yes, exactly. So their life is around eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. They don't have a higher consciousness or higher intelligence to understand the purpose of their existence. Okay? But we do have. You will ask why that person is very rich, why I am poor, why that person is very beautiful or handsome, why I'm not that handsome, or why somebody is suffering, why somebody is not suffering, why somebody is handicapped, why somebody is in full peace. These are all questions we can ask. Can they ask the animals?
No.
So isn't it differences?
Hmm.
Okay, so if we don't understand these differences, and if we live like the animals, okay, only eating, mating, sleeping, and defending, we are also in the same category as the animal. They are called Dvipada Pashu. So we are also Pashu, means we are also animals, social animal. Only thing is that we have 2 legs, they have 4 legs. Isn't it? If we don't understand the differences and live accordingly, then we are the same Pashu. Pashu means animal. Okay, we may be speaking, hi-fi languages, this and that, but we don't live the values that we are supposed to live. We are also eating, mating, sleeping, and defending in a polished places, sophisticated way, but the activities remain same. There is no difference. Now, since that we have a higher consciousness, we can write, read, understand. We can use our higher intelligence, okay, to know what is the purpose of this life, which the animals cannot understand. So the main difference that the animals doesn't have and that we have one particular element. Can you tell me what is that? Because they don't have the higher consciousness, higher thinking power, higher reasoning power like us. Okay? There is one element that we have which they don't have. Speaking, they speak in their own languages which we don't understand. What we speak, they don't understand. They communicate. They communicate. What is the speciality which animal doesn't have but we have? Chitra.
Maybe human beings, we can understand or what the soul is, or we can differentiate between us and human and the souls, but they will not be able to differentiate that or understand about that.
Yeah, that I agree. It is that's they have consciousness, we have consciousness, we have a higher intelligence, higher consciousness, because of which we are more aware of the surroundings, about ourselves, about the creator, everything. I agree that. But something which they also have consciousness, but limited. But we have something extra than they have. That is called freedom. Free will. They don't have the free will. Okay, so we have been blessed with a minute freedom, not full freedom. Okay, so we can either live a life like animal, or we can live a life like of human being. This choice is for us. That choice is not with them. They have a set path that is set by the laws of nature. Their only purpose is existence. Our purpose is to find out, who am I? What is this creation? Why am I put here in the first place? What is my destination? Within that, I can manipulate, what I should do, what I should not do, how to do, how not to do. This freedom is there. This freedom is not there for the animals. So that is for the same reason they have no karma phala. That means no reaction for whatever action they are doing. Suppose a dog passes the red light on a busy street. Will the police catch the dog and put in the jail?
No,
If we cross, what will happen?
they'll be punished.
Yes. So what is the difference?
Freedom.
Okay. So there are certain rules and regulations as human being we are supposed to follow. An animal is not, because animal by nature they don't know. Underdeveloped, not having higher consciousness. So they will not be punished. Isn't it? So we have a little freedom, not that we have complete freedom. Okay, within this four wall, we can go anywhere, suppose. If an animal is tied to a pole, he can move only within the length of the rope, not more than that. Or in the jungle, wherever. But that also very, very, careful they should be, because there are so many other animals, they'll be caught and killed and eaten. So for whatever activities they are doing, there is no reaction for them. Because we have a developed consciousness, we are called human beings. We have responsibility and accountability. So in the form of human, what we are supposed to do, what we are not supposed to do, these are the codes that is given in the scriptures. So we have to follow the codes of the scriptures, that is spiritual codes. Then we have to live our life according to that instruction. Even in the material world, what to speak of the spiritual, there are some civil codes that we are supposed to follow, right? In any country for that matter, there are certain civil codes that we are supposed to. If you don't do that, what will happen?
We'll be subject to
Punishment.
Okay.
So this is not applicable for the animals. We cannot say, we have to control them. We cannot say that the dog should not come there, or the cow should not come there, or the pig should not come there. We can restrict them by taking different measures. That's fine. But we cannot punish. Why did you come here? Or I will hang you to death. We cannot do that. But if we break some codes or some rules and regulations, definitely we'll be subjected to punishment or even death sentence. If you are doing some activities which are not in line with the rules and regulations of the country, civil laws. So now we have to think, we fall in which category? We fall in the same Dvipada Pashu, means two-legged animals, or two-legged human beings. If you follow the scriptures which we are supposed to follow, then you may ask, there are so many scriptures, which one to follow? You will have this doubt and questions, right? Many scriptures or many codes. Do you have that doubts?
Actually, it was like the other way around.
What is
Whatever
that?
we follow is things that we were taught in school or by parents. So what is that one thing that we should follow is always there.
Okay, whatever taught in school, whatever taught by the parents, it's all, traditionally we can say, we can accept to a certain extent. But when we mature ourselves, if something is wrong, we should correct. Okay,
right.
Parents may say, because that is what they know, bits and pieces from here and there. The government, they're all materially oriented. They have certain rules. We are not supposed to violate that 100%. But as a human being, why I got this human body, why that cow has got the cow body, why the dog has got the cow body, why these differences, why some person is very rich, sheikh, for example, here, why some person is prime minister, president, getting all the comforts of the life. So we can ask ourselves, why is that? Why is this? Is God partial or impartial, by the way?
No,
Is impartial or partial?
impartial.
Impartial.
So then why we are having these different comforts and different what do you call forms and all other things? Why this disparity? If suppose you have 4 children, how do you look at them? How do you take care of them? Equally, or you will do some partiality?
Equally.
Equally. So why is that the Supreme Lord, for whom we're all his children, why is he not taking care of us equally?
Karma palan.
Karma phala. Okay. So this understanding we can have only in the human form of life. Okay. There are material laws, civil codes we have to follow because we are in a material world. There are certain state laws and we have to follow. But apart from that, as a human being, the purpose of this life is self-realization. Okay. So if you don't want to come again and suffer perpetually in this material world, and then we have to follow a regulated, disciplined life as given in the scriptures. That's called Vedas. Okay? So Vedas means knowledge. So the Vedas are, four main four Vedas. There are 108 Upanishads, 18 Puranas. It's a vast body of literatures. But we cannot read all these things, understand, assimilate, and conduct our life because it's beyond our logical understanding and beyond our conception. Because we don't know Sanskrit, we have our own limitations, all these problems. So the summary of all the rules and regulations has been given in Bhagavad Gita. Who we are. Am I this body or soul? Why I'm put in different bodies, or different people are put in different bodies. Why karma bhala? How we can stop this? There are 4 problems. How we can stop this, and how we can attain that which I'm supposed to attain in this human body. So these are the messages, or these are the knowledge that is imparted in Bhagavad Gita. Just how Lord Krishna advised Arjuna. It's a dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. So through that via medium, we have been given this knowledge so that we can take advantage of it. It's not that Arjuna doesn't know anything. Arjuna is an exalted personality. He knows everything. He has been he has been put into bewilderment just to ask questions on our behalf so that we all get advantage of that and we can lead a life according to the human, then we can attain the perfection. So the basic book that we are supposed to see and learn is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not a scripture that is for a particular type of people, time and circumstances. Okay. It is called eternal religion, Sanatana. Sanatana means it is relevant for past and present and future. People may ask, how is that Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken 5,000 years back, relevant now? Whatever Krishna spoke to Arjuna 5,000 years back, that time it was a different scenario. Now it's different. Now that technology has improved, science has improved, how we can apply those principles now in the present time? The answer is very relevant then, now, and in future. Why? Because it's a basic principle. The details may differ. I am not the body, I am the soul. It's a basic principle. 5 million years before also, 5 million years after also, it will be the same. So the rules and regulations or the injunctions given in Bhagavad Gita, irrespective of which time, place and circumstances, is relevant for all of us. So the Vedic wisdom, the sublime wisdom has been given in Bhagavad Gita. So we are supposed to read, understand and apply this in our practical day-to-day life so that we will never get another gross material body. The problem for all of us, because we have a body which is incompatible for the soul. Okay, why it is incompatible? Can anyone say?
Because the purpose is not to be in this body, but to attain the Lord, the Supreme God. Instead of staying in the human form, our soul should be with the Supreme Lord.
Very good. Yes, very good. Okay. Because the soul, by its nature, it is Satchit Ananda. It's called Satchit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, Ananda means bliss. It is spirit in nature. And the body that we are having, okay, it is matter, material. It is Jada. Okay, what is it consists of? Bhumi, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kam. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay, this is perishable. So this spirit, soul is encaged in matter. That's why it is incompatible. It's not a good place for the soul to reside. But unfortunately, we have got a cage. Just like a parrot is there, it is put in the cage. Is that parrot comfortable in that cage? It's not comfortable. Similarly, because it's a living entity, it has no freedom, it cannot fly, just put in the cage. Okay? And every day, instead of feeding food to the parrot, we are just polishing the cage. We are cleaning it nicely, we are polishing it nicely, we are not feeding the parrot. Will the parrot survive? Not survive.
Survive.
Similarly, we are polishing our body, we are giving good makeup for our body, good dress, all these things, we are feeding our body, but not feeding the soul. The soul is not happy. The body is okay, it is flourishing, nourishing, but the soul is not nourishing because the soul is not getting what the soul is supposed to get. So the soul will nourish only when we read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, such literatures, and live a life according to that injunctions. So we were talking about, these four similarities. So we saw so many differences between animals, but we have to see whether we are applying those differences in our human life or not. Are we living like an animal or are we living like human? So in the Padma Purana, there is a verse, Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam Cha. So as I told you, Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maitunam. Eating, mating, sleeping, defending. Samanya Medat Pashubi Samanam. Pashubi Naranam. What Saman? What is it? Pashubi Naranam. Yes. Samanya. This is Samanya means this is common for Pashu, animal, and Nara for human being. Samanya Medat Pashubi Naran. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. What is that adhika? That is speciality that human being. Dharma. We are supposed to follow religious codes, religious principles. The animals will not follow any Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Early in the morning, okay, let me read the Bhagavad Gita today. Okay, enough is enough. Let me call a meeting of all my, fellow beings and read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Will they do that?
No.
So who can do that? We. Understanding our condition. Our pitiable condition is this material existence. So dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. This is the special, adhika, special. Dharmena hina, without following dharma, without following the scriptural codes or religious codes. Dharmena hina means without. Pashubi samana. We are equal to Pashu. Pashu means animal. So when we'll become human?
When we follow the Dharma.
Yes. So this is from the Padma Purana. Our scripture says it is not somebody has just whimsically written something. Okay, because Just like nowadays the people are writing novels, fiction, stories and everything. It's not their imagination. Yeah, this has this dharmastu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. This has been directly enacted by the Supreme Lord. It's not that some man-made, novels or fictions or something. It's shastra, it's science given by the Supreme Lord himself. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He himself has given this to Arjuna. Okay, just on behalf of all of us, Arjuna has asked various questions which we have in our mind, and Lord Krishna has answered all those questions so that we, general mass, gets benefited. So all the questions that we have, Arjuna has asked on our behalf. It is not for Arjuna's benefit. This is a very big drama that Lord Krishna has arranged, the battlefield. Okay, so in that drama, we have been given this, the summum bonum, the essence of all the scriptures, so that we can take advantage of it and not come again in different forms. Sometimes we are in human form, sometime in animal forms, sometime in aquatic, trees, plants, birds, reptiles, 84 lakhs. There are 84 lakhs of species in this universe. And we have gone through all these species multiple times, millions of times. Now that we have got this human form, we can inquire, which the animals cannot. So in the human body, we have the inquiry power, higher reasoning power, higher intelligence. This all we have to exercise, we have to use, which animals or other living beings cannot. So now the choice is ours. Should we live like humans or should we live like animals? Okay, ahara nidra bhai maitanam cha samanya medat pashubi narana dharmo hi tesham adhigo vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. So here comes the relevance of Shastra or scriptures or literatures, Vedic literatures, of which we can refer to Bhagavad Gita. It is the essence of all the Shastras. We cannot read Vedas, Upanishads and Puranas and understand things. We don't have time. Our lifetime is very, very limited. Maximum a person may live up to 100 years. But we don't know next moment whether I will be living. Okay. I don't know whether I will see tomorrow's sunrise. Is there any guarantee that we will live next moment? There's no guarantee. So why to waste time? Invest this time now, not tomorrow. No procrastination. Otherwise, what is the result? What will happen? If we procrastinate, what will happen?
In this lifetime, we may not be able to understand or realize. Our self-realization will not happen during our lifetime.
Yes.
And we will go through the cycle again.
So now we should decide. Are we ready to go through these cycles of being born as a dog or as a pig or as an animal and as an aquatic or bird or reptiles or whatever it is? Are we ready to go through that cycle again? Or should we make a full stop here and get to our spiritual nature? This is a $1 million question. So what are we supposed to do? So in the Gita Mahatmya of Adi Shankaracharya, I am sure you might have heard about Adi Shankaracharya. It said, Sarvopanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopala Nandana, Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta, Dugdham Gidamridam Mahat. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Gavo means a cow. All the Upanishads, the essence of all the Upanishads. What is that? Which is that? Which is the essence of all the Upanishads? Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita. There are 108 Upanishads. So the essence of all the Upanishads, Sarva Upanishado, it is compared to a cow. Sarvopanishad Gavo, Dogdha Gopana. Dogdha means who is milking, the milker. Gopala Nandana. Who is Gopala Nandana? The son of Nanda Maharaj. Who is that?
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna. Dogdha, who is milking? Gopala Nandana, Krishna. Partho Vatsa. Partha, who is Partha here?
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Arjuna. Vatsa, what is Vatsa means?
Vatsa
Calf.
is
Calf. Okay. So Arjuna has been used as a calf. So what is the function of the calf? What does it do? See, if you want to get milk from the cow, what do we do first?
Let the calf drink first.
Yes. Let the calf drink first. Okay. Then we can derive all the milk, isn't it? So Arjuna has been used as a calf. Partho Vasa Sudhir Bhokta. Okay. Who Bhokta means the enjoyer. Who are the enjoyers of this milk?
All of us. Whoever is reading Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Sudhir Bhokta. Dugdham and Gita Amritam. Gita Amritam. Mahat. Mahat means saintly personalities, the devotees. Gita Amritam. So by studying this Bhagavad Gita, which is compared to a cow, and Krishna is the milker, okay, and calf Arjuna, we are getting that nectarian milk, okay, very nectarian milk. We are all enjoying that. So this Adi Shankaracharya says. So the essence of all the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, okay. So in brief, taking Arjuna as a via medium, Lord Krishna is giving us the nectar. Okay, who doesn't want to relish this nectarian milk? Very creamy, very sweet, you know, so sweet that, you know, you want it more and more. That is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now we just to recap, there are 4 similarities between us and animals. Which are those?
Eating.
Eating, sleeping, meeting, defending.
Yes, okay. Which are the special qualities that humans are supposed to have?
Consciousness.
Consciousness they have.
Freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom, yes, freedom.
Common sense.
Common sense, very good. Common sense is not common for all. What's your name?
Arrow.
What's your full name?
Arvind Krish Arrow.
Arvind Krish.
He's Krish Arav.
Krish Arrow, very Hari Bol. Okay, okay. So we have dharma, religiosity, higher consciousness, higher intelligence, higher reasoning power. So in brief, you know, we are supposed to follow dharma. Okay. Ahara nidra bhayamaitanam cha samanyamedat pashubi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubi samana. So if we are not following dharma, we are equal to pashu or we are equal to animals. Only things that we are putting pants and shirts and pajama, this and that, and walking on 2 legs. They are walking without any dress and everything on 4 legs. They are also eating, sleeping, mating, defending. We are also doing the same thing, but in a sophisticated way. That's the only difference. So should we improve or not?
Yes.
Should.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you want me to continue or you want to ask some questions?
Continue.
Yes, please.
Arav wants to continue, Prabhu.
What is that?
Arav wants to continue.
Yeah, I'll continue, but you just ask some questions, then we'll continue so that, you know, I don't know what are your doubts and questions. If you come forward with your question, then I can accordingly answer.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, actually, the last class on Saturday what happened was we were having a discussion about demigods and Krishna, because now what happened is after reading the introduction and all, now they're a bit confused when they pray. Like yesterday, when Mataji, Jubi Mataji's friend was telling the same confusion, I mean, all three of them were telling, like when we stand in front of the altar, like we are confused. I know it's a bit big topic, but I think they want more clarity about that actually.
Okay. So you want to know whom to worship now, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Like after hearing the introduction from Jyoti for the past 1 month, we have the confusion of when I go and stand in front of God, like I get a confusion. Should I worship the lords I were worshipping earlier, or should I mention Krishna and worship? And then I end up worshipping both and then come back.
And I'll just quote a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. It's, the meaning of which is, there is a tree. Where do we pour water?
Animal.
To the roots.
Eh? Roots, right? What happens when we pour water at the root?
The root absorbs it and then it transports to other parts of the plant.
So by supplying water at the root of a tree, all other branches, twigs, flowers, leaves, fruits, every part and parcel of the body gets nourished, right? You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. What should I do? I should eat. Okay? And it goes to the stomach. From the stomach, the energy is supplied to all parts of the body, right? So I get nourishment. I'm hungry. I will feed some rice to my hand, some rice to my leg, some rice to the nose, some to ears, some to. Do we do that? Similarly, we pour water at the branches, leaves, twigs, flowers like that. Pour at the water. In the same way, there is one God. Do you think there are so many gods or one God? Let me have that answer first. How many gods we have?
We still have confusion in that.
Okay, what's your opinion? No problem. Just tell me. How many gods?
Many.
Many, okay. Many gods. Do you think if there are many cooks, the food will come out nicely?
No.
So many
But
cooks.
maybe helping hands.
Yeah, so
with
many cooks
helping
spoil the
hands.
food. There's a saying, right?
Huh.
No, but there will be a lot of disputes and so many frictions between them. Yes, it's a good idea to have so many gods. Just like we four, father, mother, and two children, 4 directions. One is going west, east, north, and south. There is no cooperation between 4. So just imagine, to manage the whole cosmos, there are so many gods. Won't they fight each other for superiority?
No, Prabhuji, but in our tradition, we have been taught that each god they represent or they help us with each thing, right? They that's what they have.
Okay,
taught
they will
us.
help. Okay, they will help us. I agree that they are help. But will there be any harmony between them? This is my question.
They've assigned each task for each god. That's what we have been taught, right? Like
Okay.
if say.
Okay, I got it. They have been given each of them have been given some task. But who
Yeah,
gives
so
that
if
task?
for studying we worship Saraswati, or for wealth we worship Lakshmi, like that. So
Okay. So who appoints these people and who gives this task? There should be somebody responsible, right? For example, let me put it this way. There is a company owned by you. Okay. You are the whole and soul of the company, proprietor. And you have under you a general manager, okay, an assistant general manager, or in if it is in America, president, vice president, okay, managers, supervisors, are they independent? Companies yours, are they independent?
Not fully, maybe.
What is that?
To an extent, yes, but
Yes. Okay, they are
not fully.
independent to the extent that you have given the authority, right?
Yes.
So when you withdraw that authority, what happens? Suppose the person whom you have appointed is not working properly as per the rules and regulation laid by you. What you will do usually? You will just fire him. I don't want your service anymore. You're not working according to my instruction. Fire, isn't it? So you are the whole proprietor of the company. You have the right to appoint or to lay off, to fire. Similarly, the whole cosmic creation is, there's only one Supreme Lord. There's only one Supreme. Just like, for example, in your company, you are the proprietor of the company. For this whole creation, both material and spiritual, is only one God. That is, you can call him as Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, whatever it is. These differences we'll tell later. Okay, basically, you can say Krishna or Vishnu, Narayana. Okay, the difference between this name we'll discuss later, but only one. He is appointing, because actually he is in the spiritual world, Vishnu. He is appointing his exalted devotees, confidential associates, and empowering them to manage the universal affairs. Just like how you are appointing different people whom of your choice, with whom you have some confidence, to manage the HR department, the accounts department, the audit department, okay, the factory department. You have appointed them because you have that confidence. These people are good, my own relatives or my own friends. They will take care of it very nicely. Okay, so you are empowering them. Similarly, the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, Narayana, or Krishna, are empowering these personalities, but they are not independent. They are dependent on the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, Narayana, or Krishna. Just like how your officers or managers are dependent on your decision. Of course, you have given certain freedom to them, certain authority. Within that freedom and authority, they will work. But apart from that, if a little more, if they want, they will consult with you. Similarly, all the demigods, all the gods, other gods, like Indra, Varuna, Chandra, Surya, all are supposed to be empowered by the Supreme Lord Krishna. So they do their duty. Why Krishna is appointed them? Because they are the confidential associates and devotees of Lord Krishna. Just like your employees are very, submissive to you. You know them personally, very nicely, closely. You know their integrity. Similarly, Lord Krishna knows this exalted because they are all pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So he appoints them. Just like, the god of Vayu, the goddess of learning, the god of creation, the god of sun, the god of moon, the god of seas or water. So they appoint so that we get the necessary elements and ingredients to live in this material world. But we should never mistake that they are the Supreme Lord. So that's only. So just like when we worship the Supreme Lord Krishna, all these different gods, they are Ishwaras, controllers. But Lord Krishna is Parameshwara, Supreme Lord. Okay. So when we worship the Supreme Lord, all his parts and parcels in the form of different gods, they get satisfied. As we pour water at the root of the tree, the other parts of the tree gets nourished. Similarly, when we worship the Supreme Lord, who is one without a second, the Supreme Lord is one without a second. Yes, it is not a joint venture. It's only one. In Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is glorifying Supreme Lord Krishna. Who is Brahma?
He's the
Who is Brahma?
He's the creator.
Creator. He is the secondary creator. The first creator is Vishnu or Krishna. Okay. So he gives the necessary, just like there is a chief engineer, he's constructing a building. Okay. He is a creator. But with what? There are so many, you know, cement is there, wood is there, iron bars is there, so many other materials. With that help of, they are constructing the building. Right? So he is a secondary creator. He has not created the material elements with which he is constructing the building. So he is a secondary creator. So he has been empowered to make this building by the manager. Similarly, Lord Brahma has been empowered by Lord Krishna to create or to give bodies to the living beings. That is his job. So he says, he glorifies Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So Lord Brahma, who is the secondary creator of this material universe, is glorifying Supreme Lord Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna. So Param Ishvara is Krishna, the Supreme Ishvara. Satchidananda Vigraha, his form is Satchit and Ananda. Anadir, Adir Govinda. Anadir means he has no beginning. Adir means he is the origin. So he has no beginning, he is the original, and his name is Govinda. And Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the cause of all causes. So there is only one God. So when we please him, all other gods, you know, appointed by him will be pleased. So we need not separately worship them, because all these gods are included in the Supreme Lord. Just like my hands, my legs, my nose, eyes, everything is a part of my body. One doesn't have to feed separately to these parts. So when Lord Krishna or Vishnu is worshipped, all the demigods are pleased. Yes, one can go to any demigods for that matter, worship them separately, independent, for material benefits they will give. Suppose you want to go to Goddess Saraswati for, you know, education. You want to go and worship Lord Ganesha for removing the obstacles. Okay, these are all material. But having got this human form, our purpose is not to get material benefits and come back again in this material world. The purpose is self-realization, getting out of this material body and get a spiritual body in which we will not suffer again and again. And we have to go to that place called Vaikuntha. Kuntha means, what is the meaning of Kuntha?
Is it world?
But Kuntha, no.
World?
No. Chitra, what is the meaning of Kuntha?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Miseries, Kuntitha. You are from Tamil Nadu or Kerala?
Tamil Nadu.
All of it's from Tamil Nadu.
Okay. Anyway, so Kuntha means miseries. Why Kuntha means a place without miseries? Why without? So our destination is a place called Vaikunta, a place without miseries. Lord Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalayam Ashashwadam. This place is full of miseries and temporary. So we have to go to a place where there are no miseries, which is eternal, permanent. So it is up to us. If we worship, and in Bhagavad Gita, as you read Bhagavad Gita, I will come to a sloka. I think, I don't know, with the 5th chapter. Sachimadaji, you know, Yanti Deva, Vrada Deva, in which chapter? 6th chapter? 9th chapter, there is a verse. Yanti Deva, Vrada Devan, Yanti Pradar Vaja. Now, if you worship Devas, the demigods, like Ganapati, Indra, Varuna, Chandra, Marut, okay, what will happen? We will go to their abode. If we worship ghosts and goblins, we will live with them. If we worship our ancestors, Pitrus, we will live with them. If we worship Krishna, we'll go to his abode. So this is the result. So if we worship other gods, you will go to their world, which is in the material world. Again, you have to undergo Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. You are not escaping from this vicious cycle. So if you worship me, Lord Krishna is telling, you will come to me and eternally live with me without any anxiety and in full of knowledge and bliss. So choice is ours. It is not condemned. Worshipping other gods are not condemned. You can still, but the result is that we'll have to come back. Sometimes you may be a rich person coming next life. Okay. But again, you have to undergo birth, death, old age, and disease. The rich person cannot avoid that. Whether you are a rich person or pauper, we have to undergo. The mental torture, mental problem will be there. Physically, you may be good. Okay, you have a lot of money, good wife, good husband, good children, but you have no peace of mind. So what is the benefit of having everything but no peace of mind? So that's why demigod worshipping of other demigods is not recommended by Krishna himself, because our destination is not to take birth as a rich person or as a beautiful person or as an intellectual person, or not to become famous in this material world. Our goal is to get out of the material existence altogether, the human goal. That's why we have been given freedom, to exercise the freedom and attain the perfection in this life and go back home, back to Godhead. So it is, so from this angle, if you think, you have to worship Lord Vishnu, Narayana or Krishna. And there are his own expansions like Narasimha, Rama, Vamana, Kurma. These are all his expansion. They take avatara. Supreme Lord take avatara means incarnates. He comes in different forms to this material world to lift the fallen conditioned souls like us. So they are the same Lord. He comes for a particular mission. The same Supreme Lord Vishnu in the form of Narasimha, Vamana, Sri Rama, Parshurama and all. So say, but there are appointed personalities like Brahma, Ganapati, okay, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Surya. They are all appointed, exalted living entities. They are also living entities like us, but they are not ordinary like us. They are exalted. Just like in your office, you have appointed a general manager. He is on a higher grade. And the worker in the factory is on a lower grade. They are not the same. The Supreme Court judge is on a higher responsibility, higher grade. The ordinary clerk in the court is in a lower grade. So that's the only difference. So we have to understand from this perspective. So the Lord is only one, is Krishna, and he has appointed many people, his own people, confidential associates, devotees, to manage the universal affairs. That's all. They are not the same. They are appointed representatives of Supreme Lord to manage the universal affairs. So for worshipping, we have to worship Lord only. He only can give liberation. Others can give you Lakshmi, others can give you knowledge, others can give you some comfort in this material world. Not beyond that. This is temporary. Again, it is temporary. When we lose this body, everything is gone. Start from scratch. Is it clear? Does it answer your question?
I'm clear. Chituma?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, in brief, because we can speak for hours together, but I don't want you to bombard things more and more. It'll take time. As we read Bhagavad Gita and other scripture, slowly and gradually you will come to the conviction that yes, what we are speaking is true. In this material world, everything is relative. Nothing is true. In the spiritual world, it is absolute. So that's the only difference. And as we progress reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and everything, then slowly and gradually all our doubts will be clarified. Any more questions? How many yugas are there? Any idea?
I don't know.
What about Chitra?
We are in fourth or fifth yuga, I'm not sure.
Okay. What about Arav?
Arav left the place. Probably there are some gifts, so he left the place. He saw them and he left.
Okay, okay. How
That's why I
many?
had to like, quickly go and come back.
Okay, okay. So you are busy. We want to stop.
No. They know that I have a class, so my husband is with me.
Okay, okay. So there are 4 yugas. We are in which yuga?
Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga. So which are the other 3 yugas?
Treta Yuga. Dwapara Yuga. I'm not sure if I'm right.
Yes. Right. You are right. Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and one more, the first yuga.
I don't remember.
Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. This is 4 yugas. This comes in cycles. Now we are in Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. Okay, after Kali Yuga, again the Satya Yuga starts. So Kali Yuga is the duration of life is the shortest. Every 100 years maximum. But nowadays, 50, 60, 70, more than that, if you get, it's a bonus. So within this short life, we have to perfect. We don't have time to dig many things, understand like in the previous age. So earlier the better. Take the right path, make a decision. Bas, leave this place. That's the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, this is a prison house. Is it good to be in the prison? Dukkha alayam. He did not say Sukha alayam. Krishna says this place Dukkha alayam. That's why he's telling, come on, get out as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. And he further says Ashashwadam. What's the meaning of Ashashwadam? What is Shashwadam means? Shashwat. Shashwat means permanent. Ashashwadam means impermanent, temporary. Okay, so this place is full of miseries and it is temporary, and we are trying to find happiness in this place. Just like a prisoner is trying to find happiness in the prison house. Can he find happiness in the prison house, jail? We are all put in the jail of this material universe and undergoing 4 problems. Which are those? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. These are the 4 main problems we are all undergoing in this material world. We are born. Can we decide the place of your birth, the time of your birth, the day and date of your birth, the parents of your birth? Can you decide?
No.
So what control do we have? Sometimes we are born to a parents in Africa who are totally poverty stricken and we have to undergo malnutritious. We don't have roti, kapda, makan, food, shelter and clothing. We are born in such place. Just imagine if we are born in our next life, such place. We can see all these things in the, luckily, by the grace of God, some sukriti we have done. That's why we are somewhat okay, isn't it? But again, next moment, what will happen? No one knows. Now, especially in this pandemic situation, these people think that we are, technologically advanced, scientifically advanced. Just a small, invisible virus has taken control of the complete planet. We cannot even see. That small virus which we cannot see with our naked eyes has taken control of the humanity, the entire humanity. Just see, imagine the pathetic condition and we are supposed to be going to stars, moons, this and that. We cannot even destroy one small virus. So this is our advancement. Our advancement is not in the right direction. And as Martin Luther King says, we have guided missiles, but we have misguided men. No, we have guided missiles, but we have misguided men. So it is right time that at least better late than never we take up to our scriptures, which Supreme Lord himself has given, and the great Acharyas has helped us to understand in its right perspective, lead a disciplined and regulated life so that we will not come back again. Understand the things in the right perspective from the right source, because since our childhood we have been brought up in a traditional way. Even our parents did not know what is right, what is wrong, bits and pieces here and there, no proper education in as far as the scriptures are concerned. Now that we have the maturity to understand and to find out what is good, what is bad, we should take the right path. Okay. Yes. Any question? Any further questions? Because too much will be too much for you. Everything. So now we'll go. The Bhagavad Gita as Mataji is taking introduction. You complete, and once in a while, and on a Sunday like this time, we can have a some special class. And if you have some questions, whatever I know, I'll try to give, serve you all.
Thank you so much, Babaji.
Okay.
Thank you.
So on any Sunday, just tell me once in a month or whatever it is. This time, if it is convenient, okay. So that we can, there will be so many, as you go through this, as you read through, and you may get many doubts. So we can, basically on that points we can discuss and get some benefit. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to speak on this subject matter, especially about Bhagavad Gita and other useful information to share. I thank Jyoti Mataji also for giving me an opportunity so that we can serve you all.
Prabhu, thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Immediately when I asked, Prabhu accepted without any hesitation. Thank you so much for your time and sharing the wisdom, Prabhuji. Can we have the lotus face of Shanta Mataji also, Prabhuji? So my friends will see.
I will call her.
Kriti, Chitu, they both Mataji and Prabhuji are full guidance for us, and we make lot of mistake every time, but with real patience and like a father and mother, they will guide us actually. Whatever mistake we do, they both are very, very merciful and they guide us exactly. So we, as a family, all three of us are very much indebted to Prabhuji and Prabhuji. Only because of them, we actually have learned and we have taken the right. And Mataji is actually teaching Aishu. She is the Siksha Guru. So Prabhuji and Mataji are our Siksha Gurus. This is her grace, Shantalakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So this is all because of
Hare Krishna,
Guru's,
Mataji.
our Guru's
Nice to see
mercy.
you all. Thank you so much for taking some time.
No, I'm really, thankful and grateful to Jyoti Mataji because she talked to you and you showed some interest and you are continuing with her reading Bhagavad Gita and trying to understand. Very nice of you. So please keep going, continue further, and whatever seva you want from us, please order us. This is the only thing that we can do as service to the humanity. This is the order of our own spiritual masters and acharyas. whatever you know, why don't you impart this? When we are happy, why not make others happy? One should not be selfish. So this is the only service that we can do. So by the blessings of our Gurujan, yes, we have taken up this service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Thank you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Thank you.
Coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
The other girl could not join, no? Other friend could not join. Eh?
Yes, she was very much interested. She had so many questions to ask to you, but
Okay. Anyway, I have recorded this. I will send this to you.
sure.
Okay. So you can just share this with her also. And if it was, if she was that person, it would have been more better interactive. Anyway,
Yes.
okay, next
She
time.
got she got a version of Kids Bhagavad Gita, and she read it. She understood because she wanted to be prepared to ask you questions and all that. Prabhu, she was so much prepared actually.
Oh,
Okay. Saturday you are off.
It is Friday evening for Chitra and Niranjana Prabhu.
No.
And Kirti also, Saturday, she is off actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll
we
be
can, if it is convenient for her, if this time is not okay for her, then we can make it on Saturday a little late, instead of 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something once in a while. Okay, you continue with your class. If you want anytime me to come, so you can make it either Saturday or Sunday.
Prabhu will be very happy if you can take also from.
No. No, it is service you have to continue. It is said that each one teach one while being taught by one. Don't keep it with yourself. No, when you get something good, distribute it. Suppose you have a basket of mangoes and you are only 2 or 3 people at home. What will you do with that? You will give to your near and dear, right? Similarly, this happiness you should part with.
for Kirti, it is a double use because
Not keep.
Kirti, no, because Arvind will follow it. More than you,
Actually, I want even the kids to learn and understand it. Now they already I just told them about not eating non-veg. They're slowly I really don't want to eat. I'm okay, happy. If you get that idea, that is very much easy for me to get you out of it.
Actually, they will learn from your action than your words.
No, you have to. If at all you want your children to stop, you have to stop first.
Yeah, from our action.
Slowly, I don't
they
want to
will
bombard with all these things in one go. So it will slowly and gradually it will come. Why we are not supposed to eat all these things, rules and regulation. Why we are supposed to follow the rules and regulation. Why the animals are not supposed to. All these things will come. In the course of these classes, definitely. So because if you give too much, you'll not be able to digest. Okay. So thank you so much once again.
And it is a custom that we should serve prasadam after the class. We are very sorry.
You are thousands and thousands miles away from us. But anyway, thanks to the technology that at least we can meet through, this
Zoom.
technology,
Yeah.
Zoom and all.
True.
So it's really nice. So from that
Thank
perspective,
you so much
we have
for
to
your time.
always welcome.
Please pass by when you go to your place
Abu Dhabi.
after this all pandemic situation. No, please come
Sure.
this way because it's not possible. I don't think we'll be able to come and meet you there.
So when you go to India, make a transit Abu Dhabi.
Sure.
So you're not in the profession of medicine doctor. None of you.
No, none of us.
No.
All of them are my class schoolmates, Prabhu. So I am very close with my schoolmates rather than my college mates.
Okay.
Okay.
And
In
all
and
of us
out.
took different fields. So none of us are in work-wise. We are not related.
Achha, achha.
And even the place we live is not